Hello everyone, this is Will.
And this is Alex.
And welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Woo! Mostly.
Let's just get this off my chest. Thank you, 1974.
It's over.
It's been a ride.
Oh baby, it's been a fun ride.
Like we have one last movie for 1974, which we're going to get into very soon. But my God, 74, you've created quite the challenge to pick worst of the worst.
It's been fun.
It's, I don't know if fun is the word I would describe. Yeah.
It is fun because, boy.
We watched some movies that I would never watch fully.
I am never going to forget some of these.
No.
And that is a testament.
You and your evil!
Because we've all seen those movies where we just watch them and forget.
Mm-hmm.
But
I will not forget a lot of these movies and how bad they are.
Kudos.
One of the major ones I won't forget is how much fucking money they spent on corpse eaters.
Look, we'll get into that atrocity.
I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's gonna make my list, but
it's not making my
list. I
just
always think about how much money they spent on that movie.
It won't make my list, and that says a lot.
Because that
means someone fucked up even harder, and
they fucked up so hard you don't even think about the movie.
I don't even think about corpse eaters.
No, I don't either.
I think about other things that hurt me.
Well, we'll get into that at the end of the episode.
Today's film is
here's a real treat for you.
So I have seen this movie before.
I have not.
It's called The Bat People. Now, the weird thing is, if you look on IMDb, this is the lowest rated movie for 1974.
Which I really disagree with.
Which is weird as fuck, because that means that every single movie for 1974 that we've watched has a higher rating than this.
No.
And that is suspect.
Now that's funny because you told me that before going into this movie. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. This is gonna be the biggest heap of shit we've watched yet.
We just watched Shriek of the Mutilated, and all you thought was, how the fuck is there a movie from this year rated lower?
I was sitting there thinking, how could it get any worse? And thank God
it doesn't.
It doesn't, because Shriek of the Mutilated kind of.
This is rated lower than Help Me, I'm Possessed.
Is it rated lower than like the Devil Times 5? And
yes.
Like all the other movies we
Every
watched?
movie from 1974.
What?
This is the lowest rated.
How?
I don't know.
There are so many worse movies on our list.
Like, I've seen this movie without the podcast.
Like, Shriek of the Mutilated made me scared for the next couple episodes.
Yeah,
like, I was wholeheartedly thinking that we would just be trudging through this shit until we finally found something that was even decently entertaining.
No. And here's the thing is, I'm not saying this is a great movie, but, like, sometimes it's nice to just see a movie that makes sense.
It's true.
Where
it's coherent. It follows one plot that doesn't have any holes in it.
It resembles a movie.
Yeah.
Like, it has a setup, and things happen, and like...
And what's best about it is it's just hilariously bad.
It's I don't know, it's weird.
It's one of those movies, I don't
know if I'd call it hilariously bad, it's just...
I think in my opinion, like...
misguided?
It's
misguided.
It's misguided, but I also think it's one of those movies that's like, it's kind of...
It's trying.
It's trying, but it just can't quite grasp it. But it makes it more entertaining.
Yeah, because they could have just not given a shit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we have seen plenty of movies that don't give a shit.
Pretty much like the last 5 movies we've watched.
Don't get me wrong, those movies are fucking hilarious. But it's different. It's a different feeling. That's that word. The German word, Schadenfreude, finding pleasure in others' misfortune. And this is like, it's a different form of that, where it's like, there's one way where you find pleasure in shitty movies where they just don't give a flying fuck. And then you find pleasure in movies where, like, they try.
Mm-hmm.
And it's adorable. It's certainly adorable how much they tried, but, I'm sorry.
The Bat People is adorable.
I mean, this movie is adorable.
Not as adorable as Night of the Lepus.
No.
But
I mean, I guess...
nothing could be that adorable, okay? Like, I'm sorry, fight me on that, but like...
I mean, yes. Bats
Killer.
are like... I mean, I know bats aren't, like, nobody that has ever died. I can say this without, like, looking it up. No one has ever died from a bat.
And I know Night of the Lepus was last year, but I'm still...
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's just silly.
it's just...
Yeah.
It's
This
great.
did remind me of that. Where they're just taking this thing and trying to... But it also is weirder than Night of the Lepus.
So I
Shall
guess we
we
should...
get into
let's get into it so we can get to the end where we discuss have our hard decision.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
this starts just boom.
Yeah.
Someone... There is like a bunch of ridiculous visuals of bats and screaming.
And a guy, like, just tossing... like, it goes to, like, a guy just tossing and turning,
Yeah.
and then, like, more bats, a screaming woman...
And then he wakes up and, you know, I had a bad dream. Had a bad dream.
And she's like, let's go back to sleep. And so then we get the credits.
You have a Bond theme.
Yeah, it's like this, like, sultry, like, almost lounge acty.
It sounds like it seriously sounds like a Bond theme song.
It sounds like a Bond theme song from the 70s.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just
It's hilarious.
it's off. Like, it just...
I think the sound... So, my one critique of this movie is the soundtrack is so off from the tone they were trying to set.
Well, no, the soundtrack
at every point.
is a lot of things. It's everything. Because, like, this starts out with, like, a Bond theme, and again, it's funny because it's like this woman singing, and then the title comes up.
And
the Bat People.
And there's a car driving through the desert.
But it's just funny because, like, the title, the Bat People, and this music, and your brain is just like, what? No?
We're like, is this a horror movie?
What is this?
What the hell's going on here?
But the thing plays, and...
The credits roll, and then they park, and I guess they're having a picnic or something, and they're walking through a desert.
They're looking at cactuses.
And she picks up something, and then it's like, oh, what's this? And he's like, oh, it's a cactus gourd. And then she's like, oh, cool. And then, like, they walk to the blanket,
And she freaks out.
There's a bat on the blanket.
There is a tiny bat on the blanket. And she freaks the fuck out. But the guy is like...
oh, it's so ugly. Get rid of it.
But the guy is... I guess he's, like, fascinated by bats.
He's chill.
So he's chill. He's fine with it. And
He's like, oh, it's just a bat. And then he's like, okay, let me get rid of it. And he just throws a rock at it, and it flies away.
They go in the cave?
No, they have that stupid discussion about how she's like, oh, can't we just go hit the slopes? And he's like, oh, but I gotta do my work, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess you can do your... Oh, no, she like, kind of makes him not do his work.
And then changes her
she's
mind.
like, oh, well, I guess you can do your work.
Okay, let's go do my work. So they go do his, quote, work.
What does he do for a living? I don't think it ever explained it.
They don't have time.
Literally, they just go on a tour of, like, a cavern.
Like, all that you need to know is that for some reason his work involves going into caves with bats. And then they're in the cave, and they're going on a tour, and the woman gets horny.
She wants to fool around in the cavern.
So she's like, I don't know, being in here is making me feel very primitive.
Very batty.
Yeah. Baddie.
Sorry, I had to. It was right
know.
there.
I mean, it was going to happen.
Yeah, it's true.
Eventually, it would have happened in the podcast. It's just, that was early, boy.
I know.
You blew your load early like a certain other person in the movie.
That's why I did it.
Thank you.
In honor of the guy that's coming up in a few minutes.
In honor.
In honor. We've all been there, bro.
Look, I can't... I'm sorry. I can't relate to that. That's that dude. That was unexpected. Like,
so girl gets like super horny.
Yeah.
They go into the cave, and then she somehow falls down like a hole.
Because they run off to like some section of the cave where nobody goes, and just falls down a hole, and is covered in bugs.
And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm coming down," and he just jumps down with her.
He jumps down with her
Instead of the realistic thing where they would like
get help,
go get help or a rope or something like to pull them up.
Yeah.
But no, the guy just is like, "Oh, I guess if you're gonna be trapped, we should be trapped together."
I mean, yeah.
That's dedication.
It's true romance. Okay.
It is.
Trapped together. So he jumps down and he starts hearing this, like, because earlier in the movie, he heard this noise. It's like this weird, like, almost buzzing sound. And he hears it again. And a plastic...
I love these scenes. It's
plastic bat
beautiful
on a string flies at him.
Starts attacking the woman. And it's hilarious because in these movies you can tell because they're just holding...
Yeah.
They're holding the bat and he's literally flapping the bat's wings with his thumbs.
It's genius.
But making it look like he's struggling to get it off of her.
Yeah.
And she's like freaking out and then it like attacks his neck.
And it bites him on the head, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, on like the temple of his head. And attacks him and then he like throws it to the ground.
You know why? Because this movie's original.
Yeah, exactly.
It bites him on the fucking forehead.
It's about to get fucking more original.
So he throws it on the fucking ground, and someone comes to help them eventually, and he's gonna like go pick up the bat that he just fucking smashed.
And she like kicks sand over it and is like, "Oh yeah, you needed that for your research or whatever."
Like, I was gonna study it. No, he's like, I was gonna study it for rabies. And it's like,
is that what he does? Is he like a rabies doctor? No, I have no idea what he does.
He's some sort of scientist, but
they keep calling him a doctor.
In this movie, this is the same thing.
Scientist,
yes,
and doctor are one and the same.
You call them doctor.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
Also, apparently, if you kick dirt over an animal,
you can't pick it back up and research it.
It neutralizes the rabies.
It ruins the sample.
It does. It neutralizes
the sand. Covers up all the rabies. So if anyone you know has been bitten by something with rabies, just cover it with sand and it neutralizes the poison.
And then they're like,
I'm just kidding, don't.
He gets a nightmare or something.
Yeah. Someone finds them in the cave, and they decide to go skiing.
Yeah, but before.
And this is where because they're on the ski lift, remember? So they're not skiing yet.
Yeah. But
they're on the lift to get up to the ski resort.
So he starts freaking out, and he has a nightmare where his wife is running on a treadmill.
and there's a bunch of stock footage of bats.
They take little bats, and they kind of like hold them by their wings, so they look like they're flying, and they get close-ups of their faces.
And they get it screaming, so they make the bat uncomfortable to make it squeal, I guess.
I mean, I can tell you this right now. They recorded like 2 screams and just looped them.
Well, it's probably because like they didn't want to like hurt the bats.
Yes.
So they were just like holding it in place. Did it for a couple seconds to get what they needed.
And I swear, it's like they used like 3 shots of the bats, and all they would do is loop them and like switch the angle so it looks like a different bat. But bitch, it's the same
fucking bat.
It's great. And she's running on a treadmill because
it doesn't. So it's weird. It's one of those things where they like put it on a black background, so they're like, oh, it's gonna make it look like she's running away,
but
it doesn't.
She is running either in place, just running in place, or on a treadmill
with stock footage.
It's beautiful.
With stock footage of bats just superimposed onto the film.
Fucking spooky shit.
Great.
It's great.
So he like snaps out of it and comes to, and they're like,
and then we get a montage of them skiing. And again, you talked about tone.
Well, it's like this cheery, chipper, like almost like Winter Wonderland-esque like style, like music just playing.
Yeah, and then after they're done with the skiing montage,
they go to a sauna. And
again, Winter Wonderland.
Yep, more.
They're gonna have a drink.
So she starts sipping, and she's like, "Why don't you have a drink?" And he picks up. This is He picks up his drink
and takes a drink
and
and smashes it in his hand. So I mean, we learned this later in a later scene as well. But have you noticed that alcohol seems to trigger the Batman?
Dude, this dude's like the Hulk. Like everything triggers.
Yeah, but at least with the Hulk, it's like he gets angry.
Well, angry, but also sometimes if he gets like, if the sexual tension gets too much, he gets too riled up.
Yeah, but
it's all based on heart rate.
This guy he can't do alcohol apparently.
He can't do anything because you'll find out in the movie, everything fucking triggers this guy.
Yeah.
Anything fucking triggers this little like hallucination.
He's just drinking
shit.
a fucking cocktail in a jacuzzi, and it's enough to. He smashes it and cuts his hand.
Yeah.
And then they go to a doctor.
And the doctor, so it's the doctor's their friend, and the doctor is like, oh well, he probably just has rabies. We have to administer 20 shots.
Yeah, but then they're both like, I don't want to do shots. And he's like, yeah, he doesn't have to do shots. Just go have fun.
Well, yeah, they're like, the incubation period is like 1 to 5 months, so he's fine.
And the wife is like, what are you talking about?
Like the wife, the one with only any sense in this scene,
yeah,
is like, well, what are you talking about? If you have rabies, we should probably take care of it, you fucking idiots.
And they're like, fine. Like, both of them are like, fine.
Like it's a fucking major inconvenience. They're like,
it's like,
fine.
You're a fucking doctor.
Rabies can kill you, but fine, whatever.
I guess I'll do my job.
Incubation's like 1 to 5 months. Why should we do this now, bitch? Like,
why should I do my job?
Why should I do my job? I want my friend to die.
Jesus. They go to the real hospital and he gives him a shot.
And the guy starts freaking out.
He freaks the fuck out. And that's it.
And the guy passes out. The wife finds the doctor on the slopes. This is the next scene, literally after his friend freaks out on an operating table.
Explaining all this stuff, and
they chalk it up to him being allergic to the shots.
Yeah. Well, because she finds out from one of the nurses that he freaked the fuck out to the shot, and you find out that. Also, was it in that scene where he hallucinated the toy bats attacking him?
So that's the next dream sequence.
So he freaks. So yeah, she finds out that he freaked out and
talks to the doctor, who's like, "Oh yeah, everyone knows I'm like a snow junkie or like a slope junkie or whatever, a ski bum, excuse me." So instead of helping his friend in like the hospital, he decides to go skiing.
He's having fun, Will.
This is a good friend right here.
It's a great doctor.
It's like, yeah, you have rabies. Let's wait like a month or 5, you know, and then like, but. So you freaked out on the first shot. I'm just gonna go skiing, man. Like, cause like you're already in the hospital.
Yeah.
I can't help you anymore.
It is what it is. This is fine.
This is the fucking worst friend on the planet. Like, I would be like, fuck you.
Also, he tells her like, oh, these are all common symptoms of allergic reaction to the shots, and she's like, but he's been having these symptoms before the shots, and he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like a true doctor is like, well, what do you mean by
What's
that?
that mean?
It's like, that means he was having the symptoms before, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a stupid conversation.
It's fine. It's fine.
And this is where he has the
he dreams that he's being attacked by toy bats. And he also sees a vision of a future kill.
Of a woman like cowering in fear in a corner as something zooms in on her.
But he wakes up, right? In the hospital.
Yep, and it shows his hand.
And it transforms.
And it starts... It's actually kind of... This is actually kind of a cool transformation sequence.
Because it's like you see his hand and then it's like it's darker and hairier and there's like...
Webbing.
There's webbing and then it's bigger and more web.
It starts to look like more like a claw of a bat.
And he wakes up and he looks in the mirror and like freaks out. And then he attacks.
We get a first person view of him like going into like the
night nurses, like wherever she is.
Like it's like the secretary desk or whatever. Yeah. And she freaks out and like trips over a this is the best because he doesn't actually kill her.
It doesn't.
So she freaks out, runs away, and trips on a table and cuts her throat on some glass that she broke.
It's
so totally by accident.
Sad.
The first death scene is totally accidental.
How sad.
He didn't even attack her. He just walked towards her.
Probably with his gimp hand.
Yeah.
And she just couldn't handle it. Freaked the fuck out and ran into a goddamn, like, what was it, like a gurney? Yeah, it had all the fucking, like, glass, like, the beakers and stuff on it.
Yeah, so he wakes up in the hospital bed, like, freaking, like, in flop sweats.
And one of the nurses sees that his wedding ring is on the floor.
She's like, how did that get off?
Yeah.
Is that yours? And he's like, oh, yeah, but, like, and they explain how he couldn't get the wedding ring off. Like, it would take, like...
Because he can't get it back on now, but they...
Well, because, like, apparently when he put the wedding ring on, it just sealed to his fucking finger.
He got his fingers fattened up.
I guess so.
After he put it on.
Because that's what the wife explained. She's like, oh, well, like, only, like, two strong men and you could get it off of your finger.
True facts.
Like, yeah. But, and then he freaks out and is like, no, I want to stay here. Get me a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
I need a psychiatrist. Please, get me a psychiatrist.
Get me a psychiatrist. I love you, babe. Get me a psychiatrist.
And she's like, well, no, you can go home. Ah, fuck you. I need a psychiatrist. Well, he doesn't say fuck you. He
freaks out again.
Like, I want to stay here.
Then you see him shopping.
Yeah, just immediately after he says he wants to stay at the hospital, he's out of the hospital and buying lingerie for his woman.
He still stays the night at the hospital. But he just goes buy lingerie. And then we get my favorite character in the movie.
So the guy starts having a spasm, and he sees the sheriff and hides his hand.
So a cop comes
under
in.
a cloth.
A cop comes in, Sergeant Ward, and he knows. Sergeant Ward knows what's going. He knows the business.
He's a piece of shit, but he knows what's going on.
He knows the business.
Exactly.
He looks at him as immediately suspicious, and he's like, sees that he's covering his hand up, and all this other shit, and he just knows. Also, he always has like evidence on him. Mm-hmm. Every scene he shows up, he's like, I found this.
He also knows who every single person is.
He knows
just immediately.
Because he's a fucking baller. Him and his fucking cigarette.
I mean, he's kind of a dick, but he's a baller.
But boy, what a beast.
So he's like, oh yeah, if I had a woman as good at looking as yours, I would buy her some of this stuff too. And then he looks at the rag that's covering the guy's hand. He's like, but I wouldn't buy her something like this.
Yeah, I don't know how she'd react. Then he pulls it off and
it's normal.
But he knows. You can't fool him. Sergeant Ward will not be fooled. And
Ward is like,
go back to the fucking...
So Ward questions him and says like, well, like how did this bracelet get off of your...
Yeah.
Like, we found your bracelet where
and he tries putting it back on his hand.
And it won't go on. It
won't fit. And he's like, well, look at that. And he doesn't... Okay, so he leaves the hospital for some fucking reason and stays the night with the wife in the motel.
Yeah,
remember?
I don't know why.
Okay, because... Oh, yeah, they have like...
Because then he starts having, like, the hallucinations
You see that they had a romantic dinner, and then they're in bed. And then he starts hallucinating again.
And he goes to the window and opens it.
And
this is great. This is like one of my favorite sequences. Cause
it's like a werewolf movie. He turns into the thing at night and goes have fun.
So he goes and smashes...
This is the best transition.
He literally, it just jumps to him smashing a mannequin on the fucking cement
You just
ground.
see some ragdoll head fucking hitting the ground, and its like head flies off.
Yeah,
that's it.
And then he violently takes off the sports coat that was on the mannequin
and puts it on.
I don't know why. They never explain
You know why? Because he's cold.
I guess.
That's it.
It's because it's flowy and it looks like a bat. Get it?
Because he's cold, Will. He had to get clothes, so he smashes...
He smashes the mannequin and takes the jacket. I don't even know.
It's hilarious.
It's goddamn hilarious.
And then you see these two like teenagers, whatever, but they're smoking weed.
Here's the guy, Rip.
Listen,
Rip.
we need to have a conversation. They smoke weed. It's very hip. Okay?
This is the best. I don't get the sequence of events in this movie have nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
No, this scene is great. I fucking love this shit. This is so like out of the fucking blue and weird that I love it. Like, and then he shows him like rampaging some more, and then he
with his new
and then after they smoke weed, they start making out,
and the guy gets on top of her
and like kind of awkwardly dry humps her once, and then he's like, "Oh, he's getting late.
Well,
I gotta go."
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. I gotta go. Thank you. Like, just bail. That boy,
He preed.
I don't even want to know why this scene is in there because I fucking love it. It's so goddamn goofy.
There's no reason for the scene to be in there, but they did it
for my goddamn entertainment, and for the fact that I have never seen this in a movie like this.
No, I have never either.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen it in a movie before, like a goofy like comedy.
I've seen like romantic comedies and shit like that.
But like a movie about a man bat.
A guy turning into a bat,
rampage,
smashing a mannequin, and taking its jacket.
Poor schmuck pre-comes.
And then you never see him fucking ever again.
Yeah. But then like he disappears, and then she is like walking home.
No, she doesn't even walk home. She like tries to get out of the other side, sees like the guy,
sees the
man bat,
the Batman
coming towards her, and screams and like gets out the other side,
and you see like POV of him chasing her, and then he corners her, and then you see that was like a vision that he had previously, because you saw that exact thing.
And then she screams, and he like wakes up screaming.
Yeah, and again, wife is like, "This is just a bad dream." Bad dream. And then the cop,
and then there's a knock at the door, and it's late. It's supposed to be late at night.
Well, they tell you because you find out it's the cop, and the wife answers the door, and she's like, "It's 3 a.m.
Is this really the time to be questioning?"
And she's like,
this?
"I need to talk to your husband." And he looks at her, and she's wearing like her nightgown.
And
but you know why?
Down. He oogles her.
But you know why he knocks on the door? Well, because Sergeant Ward doesn't sleep.
He knows what's up.
He doesn't sleep,
and he knows everything.
Well, first of all, he's the only cop in the city, I'm pretty sure, because you never see, like... He calls for backup in a later scene. It's just him.
Yeah. Backup never comes.
It's just him, and this is the only crime in town, is this fucking tourist doctor.
I got it. He was just bored. He was like, "Oh, finally, some fucking action.
Some action.
Now
I've been waiting.
I'm gonna learn everyone's fucking names, where they are at all times. Like, I am gonna be on top of this shit."
All those years in police academy are finally paying off.
Finally done. I'm fucking yes.
He shows up and says that like they found some young girl. Well, he says they found a kid with her throat ripped out.
Yeah, and he asks,
and I just want to
can you be accounted for the whole night?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, he was with me the whole night."
And then the husband comes out, and he asks him the same shit, and like
just pretty much says the same thing. Like
he sasses him.
Yeah,
he just kind of sasses him and just like basically like insinuates that like you're fucking. I know you did it, bitch. I know you fucking did it. And
so then the guy goes to see his doctor friend in the morning.
Fever.
And the guy, the doctor. This is the most incompetent doctor friend I've ever seen in my entire life. Because he's like, fever. "Oh yeah, these are all just part of the fever. You've been having a high fever due to the rabies."
Like he said because he tells him, so he tells the doctor that he smashed the mannequin.
Yeah. Because
earlier you saw that the cop was investigating like the mannequin because like I guess it was like a break-in. So he investigated that, but he admits to the doctor that he smashed the mannequin. Well, he doesn't admit that he ripped the fucking girl's throat out.
No, he admits that he thought he killed the girl, too.
Did he?
Not the throat rip, but like the nurse.
Oh.
He admits that he thought he killed her.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter, because...
Fever. It excuses everything.
Why did you smash a mannequin? He had rage brought on by high fever.
So if I go downtown...
Why did
smash a store... grab a coat off a mannequin. Can I just blame it on high fever and that's like everything's forgiven?
Yes.
Cool.
Why did you sneak out of your bedroom at night to smash a mannequin? Fever.
I had the fever.
Why did your ring slip off of your finger and you apparently can't get it back on?
Fever.
Because your finger sweat so much that it slipped off in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Fever.
Same with the bracelet.
Why did you think Why did you think you killed the nurse? You hallucinated because of fever. Fever.
Bat scratch fever.
This movie.
Bat scratch fever.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Considering that quote unquote bite on his head might as well be a scratch. So.
I know, because they look at it and it's like this little tiny thing.
It's like a tiny gash.
So the guy starts freaking out again. And just goes fucking ballistic. He
oh god,
he smashes through the hospital and steals a fucking ambulance.
And we get a car chase.
Now, can you chalk this up to fever?
Apparently, yes. Well, as his wife says later, he's never done a violent thing in his life.
And then the fucking sheriff gives him the... We'll get to it, but the sheriff gives her the biggest sass on the fucking planet.
He gives her the business.
He gives her... He's like, listen, bitch.
We'll tell you that one, because that line is hilarious.
So he starts freaking out. He runs out of the hospital and steals an ambulance.
With the siren on.
And
it's great.
So basically, he makes himself a gigantic beacon... For hey, look at who stole the ambulance.
And it's immediately on the radio, and the cop hears it. He chases him.
You mean the only cop in town?
The only cop in town.
Because it's on the radio, but he's, of course, the one that answers it.
Yeah. Immediately. He's like, who is it? What's his name?
He turns around and, starts driving, and it's like this epic car chase between a policeman and an ambulance.
We get a car chase, and the cop drives like I drive in racing games.
Yeah. He takes really wide turns, doesn't use the brake at all.
Yeah. It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious.
It's how I drive in racing sims because I suck at them.
Because I don't I'll forget to hit the brakes.
I fucking suck at them.
So you just screech your tires and almost hit everything. That's how he drives. It's great. And then they're suddenly they're just out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
And the cop's trying to run him off the road, but then the guy turns his wheel towards the cop, and the cop
gets stuck.
Drives the cop off the road.
And then he keeps driving, and no one gets out of the way of the ambulance with its lights on.
Yeah, so the guy tries to swerve around a car and
another car comes, and then he just
it goes off a fucking ravine and it flips the fucking ambulance into the ground.
This was 0 to 100.
It was holy shit.
I didn't even know they were on a cliff. And then he just he just swerves off, and then the next shot is just the ambulance flipping over a billion times.
So the guy looks around, makes sure I don't know how no one saw that.
No one even got out to look.
No, so
it's fuck him.
So he escapes back into the cave, right?
Yeah.
So this is where the sergeant goes back and questions. So we get sequences of the guy sitting in the cave.
Not the cave. He goes to a barn.
Oh, that's right. He's in a barn. He meets a homeless man.
Yeah.
But we also get the sergeant questioning the wife.
So he talks to her, and she's he's never done a violent thing in his life, and he's yeah, he's never done anything violent. What the hell is he saying?
He was probably never stole an ambulance too, and probably never stole an ambulance too, and attacked someone, huh?
No, not huh. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what I mean. Never got violent and escaped out of a hospital and stole an ambulance. Know what I mean?
That's his catchphrase in the movie. He'll just say sassy shit and just be know what I mean?
Oh my god, it's great. So
it's really weird, Doctor, how you can't fit that bracelet. Know what I mean? Things like that. But the guy goes to a barn, and finds a homeless man who's, he's drunk.
But he's the philosopher of the movie. He gives him some real thinkers.
Yeah. He's I had to drop out. I had to drop out of society. It's why the hell did you drop out? You're a doctor. Oh, I know why you dropped out. You know too much. You had to drop out. And he's why do people drink? It's depressing. And then he takes this fucking giant swig.
Yep. And then just starts talking. Yeah.
Why do we drink, Will?
Because we're depressed during watching these movies. Not just after.
We drink because we are fucking miserable, Will.
Mm-hmm.
I want to die. Not really, but not after this movie.
No, but this movie was okay.
But there have been movies where I did want to fucking die.
Yeah, same.
But, you know, he keeps talking and...
the doctor notices the guy has a broken hand.
And he fixes it.
Yep.
But the hobo makes a fatal mistake. He offers him the whiskey.
And, oh my... Anytime this guy tries to drink something, this poor bastard... Just stay away from the alcohol if you're bitten by a bat.
He takes a sip and...
starts having a spasm.
And kills the hobo.
And steals his clothes.
And he wears those clothes for the rest of the movie, by the way.
And this is where he goes into the cave.
He goes back to the cave.
Of course, because
the original cave.
Because the cave is his home. He belongs there.
Coming around. The movie comes around, and the cop then goes and sees the wife walking the streets at night, searching for her Batman husband. Mm-hmm. And he picks her up and starts hitting on her.
Yep, and starts questioning her about his, I
was like, I'm the only one who can, save him. Which, I mean, is true, because he's the only cop in town.
Exactly.
So apparently not just town, because he's also, his jurisdiction apparently also spreads to the fucking cave that's in the middle of goddamn nowhere. But that's fine.
This is also where I lost all respect for the sergeant, because I was actually starting to like him, and then he turns into a giant dickbag.
Yeah.
Because he tries to fucking, force himself on her for no reason. He's just questioning her, and then literally just starts kissing her, forcing her to kiss him.
He's trying to fucking embarrass Batman even harder. He's like, I'm gonna, fuck you up, I'm gonna arrest you, and I'll have your wife.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what else is he gonna do?
He's like a Batman villain.
There's nothing to do in this town.
Exactly.
When you're not...
He's just fucking bored, and I mean, that's no excuse.
I guess he can't ski.
I guess not, because
all he can do is just...
Because it's like a ski town, just outside a fucking desert.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of confused by the geography in the beginning of this, but, in some shots, it does make sense, because it's I don't know where the fuck they filmed this, but it's a fucking desert with just cactuses and shit, and then, in the distance is, snow-covered mountains.
Here's the thing, Alex. Every time they show them in the desert, they don't have jackets and stuff on. Because I get it. Deserts can get cold, and they do get really cold.
Yeah.
But if it was presumably, if it was snowing in the mountains, wouldn't it be cold in the desert?
But
too?
we do see snow in the mountains.
We do.
That's the thing.
But they are not wearing any.
I know.
Any cold weather clothing in the desert scenes.
Oh, I know.
So what the fuck?
This movie's filmed.
Listen, we live in Utah. We get some cold ass deserts, right? You can go to the desert. It looks like there's nothing there, and it can still be cold. And then you can go to the mountains and there's snow, but you still have to fucking wear jackets and shit in the desert when it's cold.
Nah, fam. Nah.
It doesn't. It's not like you drive out to the fucking South Desert and it's fucking hot as shit.
Apparently it is.
In dead of winter, no.
In this movie.
Apparently. That geography makes no sense to me.
The temperature drops 50 degrees once you leave the mountains.
Yeah, so the guy attacks a tourist.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's some woman with a camera who just, is, falls 5 feet behind. And he just attacks her with his fucking Batman hand. And that's it.
That's all he has at the moment, is just the Batman hand.
He doesn't get the full face until later.
Because she's just taking pictures, so he steals her car and goes back to the hospital to get more of the anti-rabies vaccine.
Well, he tries to get the anti-rabies vaccine, but he freaks out. And the freak out makes him change tactics. Because he then, shuts up the nurse.
This is where his bat features come in, because he gets a craving for human blood.
So he just grabs a blood pack and starts chugging it.
Yeah.
And the sheriff...
He starts drinking it like a fucking Capri Sun.
Exactly. It looks like a Capri Sun.
It does.
And the sergeant shows up because he knows. He knows shit's going down. And he shows up and he sees, the empty blood pack and all that shit.
And then he, looks at the car and there's, a recording. A recording?
No, he goes to the police station and he's like, you said you found something.
Oh, yeah, no, the guy found the recording.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then the guy at the police station gives him a tape recorder. And it's like his fucking, weirdo fucking mass shooter terrorist manifesto.
And how he's accepting that he's becoming a bat and he's okay with it because
I've transcended beyond humanity.
I've evolved. I've become a half man, half bat. It's fucking insane.
We commented like
it's bat shit insane.
Because see, I've seen this movie before, and like for some fucking reason, I don't know why, I could have sworn this thing was way slower.
It just fucking goes for it.
I apparently forgot that this movie just fucking barrels through it. Which, I mean, I'm not complaining.
This is one of my favorite scenes because the next scene, he goes to the hotel with the wife.
Oh, and
after all this shit that she's witnessed, this mayhem.
It's worth mentioning that when they listen to the tape, it's the doctor, the cop, and the wife, and she's just not having it. So, she thinks like she thinks it's an allergic reaction to the medicine.
After all that shit, she's like, oh yeah, it's an allergic reaction.
The cop theorizes that he is just a fucking batshit murderer who's just saying stupid shit.
And the cop still thinks it's like a fever.
The cop, the doctor thinks it's a combination of fever and the fact that he's really convinced himself that he's Batman.
Yeah.
So then the wife goes back to her motel
and sees the...
And it's an eyeball in the dark.
It's just an eyeball in the dark. It's just his eye just looking at her.
Don't turn on the light.
Don't turn on the light.
Go. You have to... He's like, I'm leaving. He's like, no, come home. No, the cave is my home.
You're just having an allergic reaction.
My favorite, though, is, we have a home. Our home. He's like, the cave is my home. It's poetry.
And she apparently gets turned the fuck on.
Well, no, so eventually the cop shows up, and he's like, we heard reports that he was coming this way. Have you seen him? She's like, no, I'm in bed. Go away. And he's like, okay, fuck it. He goes away. And then she turns on the light, and he's fine. Her husband is fine. And they kiss.
And they start getting it on. Because nothing says, like, heat and romance like I'm turning into a fucking bat.
It's makeup sex. It's just very batshit makeup sex.
I wonder if that would work out to a girl in the bar and just be like, hey, so
I'm Batman. I'm
turning into a bat slowly. My hand first. You want to go back to my cave and see if we can get me to transform?
I dare someone to try this. And please tell me what happens.
I guarantee you it's not gonna work.
Like, tell me if you end up in the fucking in jail because of this. I want to know.
Probably.
Or you gonna, or like a drink gets spilled in your face.
Be like, you know where I got this jacket?
I beat the shit out of a fucking mannequin.
I stole it off a fucking mannequin.
I smashed its fucking head.
I smashed the fucking mannequin head on the ground and took the jacket.
Oh, God.
And this other jacket, my trench coat, I got from a homeless man that I fixed his arm and then killed him shortly.
I killed him because I couldn't handle the fucking whiskey.
I killed him shortly after I fixed his hand for some reason.
Because I wanted to be nice and then I murdered him. I ripped his fucking throat.
Take sip of blood-packed Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you can't drink alcohol. That fucking triggers it. So they fuck. And he gets triggered.
She's like moaning, and he's like slowly turning into a fucking bat.
And we see like close-ups of his eyes, and they get dark and red, and then we see his nose.
It's like a bat nose, like all pushed up.
And then his teeth, and she's just like eyes closed, moaning. And then I guess she eventually notices that he's not thrusting anymore. After like 30 seconds of dead fish, she notices that he's not thrusting anymore. And then she looks at him and screams.
But it's not like a blood curdling scream. It's like a weird like half.
It's something.
Yeah, I don't even know.
But he skedaddles.
He vanishes.
He skedaddled into the night.
And the counter clerk, the fucking hotel counter clerk,
hears it from like fucking
forever away
and runs in and is like, "Are you okay?" she's like, oh, I had a bad dream. He's like, okay, well, if you need me, I'll be right here.
I'll be right
I got
here.
nothing to do all night. I'll be right here. Bye.
And like looking at her because she's like naked in bed.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll be right here. I'll be right here.
I got
if you
nothing
need
to do.
anything. I got nothing to do. Obviously, I can hear like a fucking bat because I heard this from fucking like 2 miles away.
Did you just say, hear like a bat?
Mm-hmm. Use sonar.
Piece of shit.
Use sonar.
You son of a bitch.
He used fucking sonar
God
like they do.
Damn it.
Oh my god.
So
the sheriff thinks something's up.
He finds out about the cave.
Yeah, they're gonna. So the wife wants to go back to the cave to look for the husband.
First he goes to the cave by himself. Remember?
Yeah, and then he chases the guy, the man bat, through the cave.
And he corners him. And he's like, "You're gonna come with me, peacefully. Know what I mean?"
And then the guy starts attacking him and turning.
The cops just like start punching him.
Oh yeah, and the guy turns into the man bat.
And he turns into Batman, and starts bashing his face in.
Yeah, like the mannequin.
And runs away. But we finally get the reveal of Batman, and he looks fucking hilarious.
It looks like It looks like the Wolfman, but if you fucked it up.
It's like the Wolfman, but with like a fucking bat nose.
Almost like a pig nose, almost.
And webbed hands.
Yeah.
Like, it's insanity. It's fucking insanity.
It's what you get if you try and make up a man that's supposed to be turning into a bat.
Exactly. So in a way, the movie fucking wins. Because that's what you get. Batman.
So for no reason at all, the sheriff just leaves the cave.
Well, because he gets he gets his fucking face bashed in. He's like, fuck this.
He's like, I'm getting out of here.
And then he goes to the wife and like tells her that he's in the cave. And then the wife hears the
sonar.
The bzzz.
Yeah, the sonar. He's calling out to her.
Yeah, through bat. He's sending his bat signal.
Mm-hmm.
And because see, here's the thing. Is from this point on, you get the impression that she's transforming. But you see, he never bit her. But he did plant something inside her.
He did. He wasn't like that other chump that preed.
He fucking. I mean, he planted that seed all in his pants.
He went for the gusto.
So in this universe, Batmanitis is also an STD.
Yeah. It's like, you know how werewolves, you can only get it transferred through being bitten?
Yeah.
No. Bats can transfer it through fucking.
Fucking and biting.
Yeah.
This is the business. So she hears it, and they drive.
The sheriff starts driving the wife, and just tons of stock footage of bats.
Okay.
Just fucking so much stock footage of bats.
So this scene is fucking insane. The scene is absolutely incredible. They are driving to the cave, and a shitload of bats just like start swarming the car and start smacking against the windshield, and it's fucking beautiful because every time they smack against the windshield, it's like this gigantic fucking burst.
It looks like someone throwing like water balloons full of like fake blood onto the car.
It's beautiful.
It's great.
And the cops like, they're attacking us, and the windshield's just covered in blood.
What's weird is the blood starts to turn green.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had no idea why. It was like it was red, and then all of a sudden it's like green.
But the wife is like calm. She's completely calm and saying weird shit to him. And he crashes the car because his windshield's covered in blood
and can't wipe it off.
And the wife just walks out. She just walks out and starts heading to the cave, and
she leaves the door open so all the bats can come in.
So they start attacking him, and they do the thing where he holds a plastic bat to his face and pretends it's attacking him.
And he starts to throw him off.
And eventually he's he's on the verge of death.
He's overwhelmed, but he doesn't want to become a fucking bat person.
He, like we said, Sergeant Ward knows the business.
He knows.
Because he has...
That's what happened.
He's got his trusty shotgun.
Everyone knows when you're bit by a fucking average, normal-ass vampire bat, you start turning into one.
Well, to be fair, it did happen to... What was it? Johnny? Johnny. It happened to Johnny. So he slowly, with his last breath, takes his fucking shotgun, puts it up to his goddamn chin, and shoots... blows his face off.
Yeah.
That happened.
Because he knows that if he's bitten by all these bats, he's going to turn into a Batman.
That was beautiful. And the wife just wanders into the cave, and we get the theme song again.
And I'm like, oh no, it's come... You even said it's come full circle.
It's come full circle. And then she walks into the cave. The end.
The end. That's it.
That's it!
That's fucking the bat people. Now, my one just burning question is... They didn't even fucking explain why these bats just turn people into fucking bat people. Is it like the...
Do they need to?
The special form of bat rabies that starts turning people into bats?
Do they need to, though?
I would have liked it.
I mean, do werewolf movies explain werewolves? It's just...
Because it's a fucking werewolf attacking you. Yeah. Not like... These weren't werebats. These were just normal bats.
Nah, bitch. He was chosen.
These are normal fucking bats.
He was chosen.
This is like bat rabies turn you into a fucking bat.
Because he heard the sonar before the bat bit him. Explanations? Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, explain it kind of just sealed the deal with everything else, but like...
You don't need to explain that shit. How would you possibly explain this?
Radiated bats? I have no idea. I have no fucking idea.
Fuck no. They left it alone because explaining this, forget it. It's fucking useless. It's a fool's game. Try to explain this, like you'd try to explain this, and you'd just be like, okay, this is fucking dumb. This is fucking dumb.
I mean,
a bat bites him, he turns into a Batman. Whatever, fuck it.
Let's just fucking make the movie.
Fucking do it. So what are your final thoughts on this nonsense?
I actually enjoyed it for what it was.
It's not bad.
I mean, it's let's be honest, it's pretty bad, but like...
I wouldn't call it pretty bad. Like, it's the thing that is like...
It's competent, which is great. It's kind of a breath of fresh air, that's what I'll say about it.
The thing that's kind of like annoying, I don't know if annoying, but like... I think with a couple of tweaks, like, this could be a genuinely, like, enjoyable, like, fucking, like... just nonsensical B movie.
I mean, I get what they were going for. Yeah. It's kind of like the Wolfman, but with a bat.
It's basically...
I get it.
It is essentially the Wolfman with a bat.
Like, it's good. It just... They didn't do it quite right.
Well, it's either the... Like... I don't know. I think the thing I would have wanted is, like... Just a little bit more insanity. A little more insanity.
If it was a little crazier, I would have been okay.
To push it just a little over.
Because you're already doing a ridiculous plot where a guy becomes a bat. You might as well just fucking go balls to the wall with it.
But instead, they kind of... They don't go full insane. They keep it pretty, like...
It's pretty tame for, like, its plot line and everything.
It's like they for most of it, they legitimately attempted to make a normal horror movie about a guy who turns into a fucking bat.
Yeah.
And I mean
great.
That happened, but I'd rather more insanity.
Me too.
But I don't know, it's not terrible.
No, it's not. And it's not making anything on my list.
It's certainly not the fucking worst movie of the fucking year.
Thank God.
Which, I mean, I don't know, like, I can't imagine any situation in which I would possibly look at this as being the worst of anything.
Not really.
Like,
I don't get why it's the lowest rated. I really don't. Like, I'm baffled by that.
There's no, like, goofs.
I mean, it's goofy, but...
Yeah, but there's no, like... There's no boom mics. There's no fucking, like, blatant, like, fuck-ups. The acting is certainly better than the fucking last movie we watched. Or any movie, like...
In recent memory? Dude, the last...
Do you remember that scene in Devil Times 5? Where a guy gets beaten to death in slow motion and sepia tone for 5 minutes?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is burned into my fucking retinas.
That movie is rated quite a bit higher than this.
It is 5 minutes.
There are reviews of that movie online that call it creepy and use words like compelling.
It's anything but that.
Like, are you fucking joking?
I can only use negative words to describe Devil Times 5.
This is like... I mean, I know this movie was on Mystery Science Theater, so I'm sure it got like a lot of its reputation from being on that, but...
I don't think it's...
I don't know.
I don't think it's as bad as it seems.
Like, it's not. And like, the one thing we did joke about, though, was like, why is it called the Bat People?
There's only one bat guy.
And my joke was, what else could you call it? You can't call it Batman.
It's true.
You can't call it Bat Guy, because that is like, if you called this movie Bat Guy, that would be like the dumbest title on the planet. So what do you got? Bat People.
Bat People.
Also, like, I don't know. It does kind of, I mean, that title also kind of reminds me of Cat People. So I don't know if, like, that's what they were fucking going for. But, yeah, it's a thing. And if you want to watch it, it's on YouTube.
Go for it.
Go for it.
I would recommend it. Just have beer ready and friends, because you can make fun of this movie.
I don't know. If you like movies about... I don't know. If you like werewolf movies, I might have... You honestly, like... I'm pretty sure I've seen worse werewolf movies than this thing.
Oh God, yeah.
So, like...
That's not even a fucking competition.
So, like, honestly, if you're into werewolf movies, if you're into movies about, like, people turning into monsters, just, I don't know, whatever.
Just enjoy it for what it is.
Give it a shot.
Just enjoy it for
You'll never see another movie where a man turns into a bat.
I guarantee it.
And this is what you get. So whatever. But we are winding down.
Now we're going to the most important part of this show. It is the end of 1974, and we have to pick our 3 categories.
So first,
we're kind of changing up the sequence here,
but also making it a little more poetic.
Yes.
So first one, best movie.
So this is the movie that we enjoyed the most. The movie that we had the best time with, the best...
Well, not just best time, but also like...
best made movie.
Yes.
Like, just the overall...
Best
had
film.
the best, like... I don't know. The best filmmaking, best time watching it. Just, like, all together, just our favorite of the year.
I wouldn't even, like, necessarily call it the best time watching it, but definitely, like, the best actual movie. Where, like, you watch it and you're like, wow, it's a movie. Like, these are movies that we could recommend to normal people.
Now, you might think I'm crazy for this recommendation.
Did you fucking change your mind?
No, it's the same. I don't know if you're going to think I'm crazy, though, because yours might be different. I can't remember what we agreed on.
For best movie.
For best movie,
okay.
In my opinion, and I had a hell of a time watching it, too, Police Women.
All right. I got you.
That was I don't know, like, it's coherent.
That's mine.
It's well made. I think it's fucking goofy as shit, but I love it.
But it knows.
It knows it's goofy and it just runs with it. It's like one of those movies where it's totally self-aware of like what kind of movie they wanted to be, and they just fucking ran with it, and it's great.
No, I love it. I love the fucking grandma villain with the goofy fucking buff dude boyfriend. I love like how like weirdly progressive it is. Like, I don't know. It's enjoyable.
It's a great movie. I would recommend it. I actually want to own it.
It's fun.
So it's like, I don't know. Like,
it's a fun movie, and like, man, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
there's no questions. You remember that?
Yeah.
There were no questions during Police
It was
Run
great.
because they explained it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fucking questions.
But now we have the fun.
Next one is best worst movie, which should be, this is the movie that you had the most fun watching. That was shit. That was a bad movie. Where you could not call this a good movie. So what's your choice?
I'm sorry, and I might have changed it up on what you thought I was going to do. I had a hard time deciding because I really enjoyed Truck Stop Women, but my god, is it fucking stupid.
Truck Stop Women is...
but that's not...
It's up there.
That's not my best of the worst. My best of the worst, actually, like, believe it or not, is Dynamite Brothers.
Solid.
Dynamite Brothers was fucking enjoyable as fuck. Like, it is so stupid, but goddamn it, I love it. It's fucking,
solid.
It is fucking great. It is just a hell of a fucking entertaining ride.
No, it is. It's
goddamn entertaining as shit, and I love it.
And it doesn't stop. It's a ride. It's a fucking ride. It's once it starts, oh baby. And I don't know. Al Adamson is just mwah.
I know.
He
knocked it out of the park again. It's fucking great.
He truly understands me.
But like, I don't know. It's great.
And the loving looks that the two main characters give each other.
Yeah, it's great. Like the fucking homoerotic. Like, oh my god.
The
beautiful.
The ridiculous like fucking mass street shootout. Oh, I love it. I fucking love it. No, it's solid choice.
What is your best of the worst?
I had a fucking struggle with this.
And I did too, because like I had a lot on
I thought Truck Stop Women was fun. Had a lot of fun with it. Like, goofy as shit. Absolute smut. But I love it.
Big Bull Shippin', man. It's hard to beat those songs in it, too.
Big Bull Shippin'. Dynamite Brothers was a ton of fun.
Okay.
All those reasons you mentioned. The controversial one that I almost picked. You thought I was fucking crazy. Help Me, I'm Possessed.
Yeah. I mean, is it just for that one ludicrous scene?
You don't get it. It's everything. Everything. The licorice. The random peepholes in the walls that are never explained. The woman who wakes up next to a corpse who's never explained. Like, everything.
So you didn't decide on that?
I did not decide on this.
Really?
I almost did.
Because I thought for sure you were going to...
Like I said.
Because I thought you were fucking insane.
I mean, look, we watched this movie 2 months ago, and I still think about it. I still think about this fucking movie, because it just... I still think about the scene where he gets in the fucking guillotine and slowly adjusts himself.
I love it. It's like, it looks so fucking ridiculous.
I still laugh about the scene where the random assistant who is never named in the movie at all, to just forget to name him, where he gets smacked in the face once and then the guy stuffs him into a closet and we never hear about him again. I still think about these things. Like, I still think about the fact that a human being supposedly made this. But,
you and your evil.
But no. The movie that I picked for best worst is Shriek of the Mutilated.
Oh god, why?
Because it is so shit. But it's good shit.
What?
It is.
No.
You know it is.
Oh my god.
Bro, it's a fucking dude in a goddamn Shaggy Dog costume who runs around murdering people for an hour of the movie, and then it turns into a cannibal cult for seemingly no reason. Did you forget when a man freaked the fuck out, slit his wife's throat, and then she slowly shoved a toaster into a bathtub?
While slowly dying?
While he sat in the bathtub sponging himself and drinking PBR. Did you forget that?
Oh,
how could I not? This thing, like... I swear to God. I just want to imagine, like...
I wish I had some silverware to clang together.
I forgot that. Because they're like, you know, you just imagine the thought process, right? It's a cult, right? They gotta have, like, some weird, like, thing that they do, right? and then someone was like, "I got it." They're not gonna clap.
You're clanging silver.
They're gonna take a knife and a fork and just.
At least they're diverse. They have Cachuco Mumbo or Cachuco Mungo in there, you know.
I'm the random woman from India.
Yeah.
And do you remember when the guy talks to like some fucking Goomba in Madrid on his like wall phone? And he's like, the ceremony has been good this year, yeah? Like, what
All
the
right.
fuck were they thinking?
All right.
I love
don't
it.
know.
I love it. It's so... I don't know. There's those movies that you just watch them and every aspect is so incompetent and so fucked up. I just don't... I don't know. And just, you know what? Man meat. Yeah. That's my pick. So sorry, help me, I'm possessed. You almost did it. But I don't know.
Now, we come to the big one.
The worst of the year.
Oh my god, this is fucking impossible. I had such a hard time choosing this goddamn movie. Like, I don't even know if I'm making the correct choice still.
I'm still deciding in my head. So when you come to me, I'll tell you.
You want me to go first?
Go.
So I broke it down. We've watched some shit this year.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, fucking Impulse. I'm sorry. I know there's some people that really like
There's
it.
that movie. Okay, first
I
of
thought
all,
it was dumb.
it's dumb, but there's literally no way that is the worst.
You know, there's Axe.
No.
There's fucking Bamboo Gods and Iron Men.
It's shit, but no. No.
I know. And these are like the see, I had to go through the list, right? Because I'm like, okay, Thirsty Dead, dumb, okay, but not the worst, right? There's two movies that I narrowed it down to.
What'd you?
I narrowed it down to Corpse Eaters, which is
I don't know.
one of the most incompetent movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and they spent so much money on it that it's hilarious.
Yeah, but...
And then, this is what I chose. This is my big one.
Oh, baby.
Because it's the one I wanted to die while watching this fucking movie. I hated this movie so much. Out of all the movies we watched, just fuck Devil Times 5. Fuck it up its fucking ass. It has the worst death scene I've ever seen in any horror movie ever. 5 minutes of slow-mo where you have no idea what the fuck is going on and just ooh.
People call it compelling.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I'm sorry. Like, if you like it, more power to you. I fucking hated it. I hated every single second of that movie. It's not compelling. Sure, some of the imagery is kind of creepy, but they make a sawhorse that stabs a guy while flying.
Well, he slowly flies through the air.
He flies through the air and they stab him on a horse swing.
Do you remember the part when he speared the girl in the face through a window, even though he was like an inch away from it?
Oh, yes. Oh my god! Like,
do you remember when he somehow got piranhas from the piranha tank?
Yeah.
And he put them in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck that movie. The fucking kid that dresses as a girl because he's like an attention whore.
No, the nun.
Oh my god! Yeah. Fuck. I hate that movie. I hate it. It was my worst of 1974. I'm sorry, I can't.
Bold.
I get it. Some people like it. I think it has somewhat of a cult following too, so I don't get it, but I hated it, so I'm sorry if you liked it.
Well.
Alright, so sorry.
Now,
rant ended. What is your worst of the worst?
Now, I do agree. Devil Times 5 is shit. I don't know if I'd call it the worst. Because as much as I absolutely hate that movie and I would wipe my ass with it, things did technically happen in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh
god, I know which one you're going for.
That does disqualify it.
I know which one.
Now, the other ones that I did consider, because I did not consider that one as much as I hated it, was Knife for the Ladies and The Thirsty Dead. So those are the two other ones that I considered.
Thirsty Dead was shit.
Thirsty Dead was, again, things did not happen.
No.
We thought they would. They did not happen. Corpse Eaters was surprisingly not even close.
What?
No. You know why? Because I very much laughed through like 90% of it, and that disqualifies.
Circles and things?
Yes, that was... Well, he turned a cross upside down. How childish is that? Do you remember when he drove around a cemetery in a circle saying edgy dialogue?
Yes.
How could I name that as a worst movie?
Because it's shit.
It is shit, but I was laughing, and that disqualifies it. So my pick...
Oh, God, I know.
Because... Look, we here, boy. It's right here. Our hometown, baby.
Oh, God. Are you saying fucking
House of 7 Corpses?
Oh!
AKA House of 9 Corpses, or however many fucking people died in the movie.
Do you remember the fucking cemetery that was just like randomly placed gravestones?
I wish that was the worst part of the movie.
I know. It's all bad. It's fucking
do you
horrible.
remember how little we felt watching it?
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Do you remember how confusing the fucking ending is?
Oh, when Beach Boy falls in the grave?
And he's like dead.
And he's a zombie now?
Already, and like carries
and
the woman.
And there's a gravestone marked David. But
he's that was the first time he's been there.
But that's the empty gravestone. So does that mean the zombie that walked out originally is David? So then who the fuck is David? So then what? What the fuck?
Or the fucking when the guy,
does anybody like that movie?
When he grabs the TV and fucking
the camera.
The camera and throws it
Well,
off.
see, I actually like that scene because it's very representative of the movie. It is. After the director ripped the film up, my film, that's me. That's me, like, watching it, but instead of saying my film, that's me, like, ripping it up and saying your film. Your film!
Okay.
Your film!
Dropping the fucking camera off the top.
That's what they did in the movie. Do you remember the part when they kill the cat? And it's just like, you just see this like white mound laying in the grass for the whole scene, and no one sees it. And then she walks right past it and screams, and then they all run past the dead cat. Do you remember how they're like, we've been doing this scene for like 3 hours. Take 10. It's just her like walking in a straight line. Why? It offends. It like. Does anybody like that movie?
I don't know.
I'm sure someone does.
Like, there's people that actually genuinely like Devil Times 5.
I know, and I don't fucking get it. I saw one review that agreed with me. It was like, it just said a simple. It was literally like 2 small sentences. It was
for Devil Times 5.
Yeah, Devil Times 5. It was like there's literally a murder scene in sepia tone and slow motion. Everyone is ugly. Nothing happens. Fuck this. It was like a poem, like a haiku.
Mm-hmm.
That's the haiku I would write for Devil Times 5. But things did happen.
They did.
And
piranhas happened.
Yes, but nothing happened in House of 7 Corpses, and they couldn't even keep their numbers up because there's more than 7 dead people. So
do you remember the fucking intro sequence where they each die and they fucking
where she has a revolver and shoots him like 50 times. But we hear like 50 bullets.
But I love how they come, like, the opening sequence made you think that that's how they're gonna die, but they combined most of them.
Yeah, one of them
like they didn't even try. They're like,
well, who killed the cat?
It doesn't
exactly.
We don't know.
Fuck it, because like the other confusing movie of the year, I think we watched it like right after or before, was Help Me I'm Possessed, which we also said made no fucking sense. But things happened.
And it had one of the most ludicrous...
And my brain is poisoned by that movie, which is why I love it.
One of the most ludicrous murder scenes I've ever seen.
See, I have to love Help Me I'm Possessed because any movie that poisons my brain that much...
I will forever use the catchphrase, you and your evil!
Well, if you ever have to murder somebody, you know what to say.
This is gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's fine. It's fine. And nothing's gonna happen.
We're gonna play a game. We're gonna play a game.
You and your evil! fucking start murdering them, and then position myself in a guillotine.
Cut your head off. And then you blow up the cave. Why?
Like, the scene of him getting in the guillotine is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Because he, like, adjusts himself. Like, why? To more perfectly cut your own head off? What the fuck are you doing? Who the fucking director? What the fuck are you doing?
Oh my god.
Did you really just yell? Did you really tell your actor to, like, position himself?
That's why I didn't pick it for worst. Because it's not.
I love it. I hate it, but I love it. House of Seven Corpses is just fucking boring.
Yeah.
And that's the theme with, like, the other two movies, Thirsty Dead and Night for the Ladies, is that they are fucking boring.
Yeah.
But at least Thirsty Dead had sets and, I don't know,
like you said, things happened.
Some people ran through a jungle.
Things happened.
Yeah. Night for the Ladies had a dude who looked like the lead singer of Whitesnake. That's like one thing that has... I mean, that's literally the only thing that was good about it. What does... House of Seven Corpses has nothing. I can't even praise it for being filmed here.
No.
I can't.
It has a haphazard cemetery.
I mean...
You mean... So they just told the film crew to go set up a cemetery and they just threw gravestones in a circle. And we're like, that's good.
Well, that scene had like 6 gravestones and they fucked it up.
They were like facing each other.
Did no one like...
They were in a bundle, like not...
I know.
Like they weren't like separated.
I know.
They were in a... Like that's not how you bury bodies.
Think about it. They could not even do that right. They couldn't just place them normally.
Like who?
If you're the director, you would you tell them, like, I have to film this scene. Go set up the cemetery while I film this scene, and then you would go look at the cemetery and you'd see that it's placed like fucking like they just dropped it. Like if someone had like a bag of gravestones and just dropped it on the ground, that's what it looks like. You would come over and be like, "What the fuck did you do?" Like, can you please
like this doesn't look like a cemetery.
Have you seen a cemetery? Have you seen a cemetery? Can you please make this look like a cemetery? But instead, they're just like,
no,
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, it's because my film.
Fuck that movie. Yeah. 1974. We done.
Yeah. 75. Here we come.
Oh, I got a big one for you.
Oh God.
You gonna love it, boy. You gonna love it.
Is that one you kept telling me about in the early stages of this podcast?
I've told you about a lot of them, so honestly, like, when you say that,
It has to do with one of my favorite fandoms of all time?
Yes.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes. I can't wait.
You will know about what really tickles Will's fancy.
I'm gonna go on a fucking nerd rant next time.
Oh, you gotta know.
You gonna learn, fam. You guys all gonna learn about me next time. You already know I love monster movies. Trying to find out the next fandom.
I mean, you can kind of guess from that.
Has to do with giant monsters.
It has to do with a certain continent.
Yeah. Certain continent. They fight giant monsters. So.
Oh, there will be fights, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am excited.
But that is it.
Yeah. So.
That's it, fellas.
That was 1974. That was the Bat People. And this has been Will.
And this has been Alex.
We are They Mostly Come Out at Night. And we'll see ya in 1975.
And don't get bitten by any bats.
No. Well, I mean, if you hear sonar, just don't follow it.
Please. For your safety. Me.